Hello there, and welcome to Midnight Science. I'm truly grateful you've arrived here tonight, because we're about to wander through one of nature's most enchanting wonders, the quiet world of flowers. Wherever you are right now, let this be your moment to pause. Allow the day's demands to fade, the tightness to release, and your thoughts to settle like seeds drifting to soft ground. Tonight, we're exploring gardens both wild and abandoned, uncovering the quiet mysteries of blooms that clothe our world in color, scent, and meaning. From flowers that communicate in wavelengths we cannot see, to blossoms that open only under moonlight. From petals that remember the seasons to roots that transform the soil beneath them. The world of flowers holds more intelligence and grace than we typically notice. Some of what you discover tonight might shift how you see a single bloom on your morning walk. Other revelations may pass through your awareness like fragrance on evening air, subtle, yet somehow unforgettable. If this kind of gentle exploration brings you comfort or stirs your sense of wonder, liking and subscribing would help immensely. It allows these quiet moments to find others who need them, one searching soul at a time. But for now, let yourself sink just a little deeper into stillness. Breathe slowly, and let's begin this soft journey into the secret lives of flowers. Some flowers can hear bees coming. In the quiet hum of a summer garden, an extraordinary conversation is taking place. Recent research has revealed that certain flowers, like evening primrose, can actually detect the vibrations of a bee's wings. Within minutes of sensing these specific frequencies, the flower responds by producing sweeter nectar. The petals themselves act as tiny ears, vibrating in response to sound waves between 200 and 500 hertz, the exact range of a pollinator's buzz. It's not hearing as we know it, no brain processing sound into meaning, but it is awareness, a physical sensitivity tuned to life's approach. The flower doesn't waste energy making nectar when no one is near. It waits, listens in its own way, and offers sweetness precisely when it matters most. In the garden, silence is never truly silent. It's filled with delicate acoustic exchanges, whispers between wing and petal, a dialogue older than language itself. Roses are related to apples and almonds. When you bite into a crisp apple or crack open an almond, you might not think of roses, but they're family. All three belong to the Rosaceae family, a diverse group that also includes cherries, strawberries, peaches, and plums. The connection is written in their flowers. If you look closely at an apple blossom, you'll see the same 5-petaled structure, the same delicate arrangement found in wild roses. This shared ancestry stretches back millions of years to a common flowering ancestor. Over time, different branches of the family specialized. Some focused on showy petals to attract pollinators. Others invested in sweet, nutritious fruit to entice animals who would spread their seeds. The rose chose beauty and fragrance. The apple chose flavor and flesh. But beneath it all, they carry the same botanical signature, the same ancient blueprint written in bloom and branch. Sunflowers track the sun across the sky. There's something almost magical about watching a field of sunflowers. In the morning, their faces point east, greeting the rising sun. By evening, they've turned west, following the light across the horizon. This behavior, called heliotropism, is driven by growth hormones that respond to sunlight. The sunny side of the stem grows more slowly than the shaded side, causing the flower to bend and follow. But here's the remarkable part. Only young sunflowers do this. Once they mature and their stems stiffen, they stop moving and face permanently east. Why east? Because morning sun warms them faster, attracting more bees and other pollinators. Even in stillness, the sunflower remembers the path of light. It's a kind of botanical memory, a final posture that reflects a lifetime of turning, reaching, following the warmth that gave it life. The corpse flower smells like rotting flesh. Not all flowers seduce with sweetness. In the rainforests of Sumatra, a massive bloom rises from the forest floor, taller than a person, deep crimson and ridged like folded meat. This is Amorphophallus titanum, known more commonly as the corpse flower. And when it blooms, which happens only once every few years, it releases a stench so powerful it can clear a room. The smell has been described as rotting flesh, mixed with sweaty socks and decaying fish. It's not an accident. This odor attracts carrion beetles and flesh flies, insects that normally lay their eggs on dead animals. They arrive expecting a feast and instead deliver pollen. The bloom lasts only 24 to 48 hours before collapsing. In that brief window, the flower heats itself up to nearly human body temperature, intensifying the smell and spreading it further. It's grotesque, yes, but also brilliant. A flower that rejects beauty for efficiency, trading perfume for putrescence in the service of survival. Some orchids mimic female insects. Orchids are masters of deception, and few are more cunning than the bee orchid. Its petals are shaped, textured, and colored to resemble a female bee. Even the scent mimics the pheromones she would release. When a male bee lands, he attempts to mate with the flower. In the process, pollen sticks to his body. Frustrated and unsatisfied, he flies off, only to be fooled again by another orchid. This time he deposits the pollen he's carrying. It's not kindness, it's manipulation. The orchid offers nothing in return, no nectar, no reward, just illusion. And yet it works. This strategy, called pseudocopulation, has evolved independently in multiple orchid species around the world, each one tailored to a specific pollinator. Some mimic wasps, others mimic flies. The orchid becomes a mirror, reflecting desire back at the insect and using that desire to reproduce. In the language of flowers, not all messages are honest. Some are beautifully, ruthlessly false. Tulips were once worth more than gold. In 17th century Netherlands, a single tulip bulb could buy a house. This was the height of tulip mania, one of history's first recorded economic bubbles. Tulips had been introduced to Europe from Central Asia and quickly became a status symbol among the wealthy. But it was the broken tulips, those with streaked or flamed petals, that commanded the highest prices. These patterns, caused by a virus, were rare and unpredictable, making them even more desirable. At the peak of the mania, a single Semper Augustus bulb sold for 10,000 guilders, enough to feed a family for years. Fortunes were made and lost. Then suddenly, the market collapsed. Tulips returned to being just flowers. But the obsession left a mark. It showed how beauty, rarity, and desire can inflate value beyond reason. And it reminds us that flowers, fragile and fleeting, once held the weight of empires in their petals. Dandelions are edible and nutritious. Most people see dandelions as weeds, invaders of lawns, symbols of neglect. But these bright yellow blooms are anything but useless. Every part of the dandelion is edible. The leaves are rich in vitamins A, C, and K, and can be eaten raw in salads or cooked like spinach. The roots can be roasted and ground into a caffeine-free coffee substitute. The flowers can be made into wine, jelly, or fried into fritters. Dandelions have been used in traditional medicine for centuries to support liver function, aid digestion, and reduce inflammation. They're also incredibly resilient. Their deep taproots break up compacted soil, and they can grow in the harshest conditions: cracks in pavement, dry roadsides, forgotten corners. What we call a weed, others call food, medicine, and survival. The dandelion asks nothing, offers everything, and returns each spring golden and unbothered. Cherry blossoms bloom for only a week. In Japan, the arrival of cherry blossoms, or sakura, is a cultural event. Families gather beneath the trees for hanami, the tradition of flower viewing. But the beauty is fleeting. Cherry blossoms bloom for only 1 to 2 weeks before the petals fall, scattering like snow. This brevity is part of their meaning. In Japanese culture, sakura symbolizes mono no aware, the bittersweet awareness of impermanence. Life is beautiful precisely because it doesn't last. The blossoms remind us to appreciate the present, to notice what is here now before it drifts away. Scientists track the bloom dates each year, creating maps that predict the sakura front as it moves north across the country. Climate change is shifting these patterns, causing earlier blooms and shorter seasons. The cherry blossom is not just a flower, it's a clock, a poem, a lesson. Beauty fades, and that perhaps is why we treasure it. Some flowers bloom only at night, while most flowers open with the sun. A select few wait for darkness. Moonflowers, night-blooming jasmine, and evening primrose unfurl their petals only after dusk. Their colors tend to be pale, white, cream, or soft yellow, easier for nocturnal pollinators to see in low light, and their fragrances are often intense, sweet, heady, and far-reaching. These scents guide moths, bats, and night-flying beetles through the dark. The flowers remain open until dawn, then close again, conserving energy and protecting their delicate reproductive parts from the heat of day. Night-blooming cereus, a type of cactus flower, is especially dramatic. It blooms only once a year, and only for a single night. By morning, it's wilted and gone. To witness it is rare. To smell it is unforgettable. In the garden of night, beauty doesn't shout. It whispers, and only to those who are awake to hear it. Lavender can help you sleep. For centuries, people have tucked sprigs of lavender under their pillows or brewed it into tea before bed. The reason isn't just folklore. Lavender contains compounds like linalool and linaloyl acetate, which have been shown to calm the nervous system and promote relaxation. Studies suggest that inhaling lavender scent can lower heart rate, reduce blood pressure, and improve sleep quality, especially in people with mild insomnia. The scent works by interacting with neurotransmitters in the brain, particularly GABA, which helps quiet neural activity. Lavender fields are often described as peaceful, and there's science behind that feeling. The plant itself is hardy, thriving in poor soil and full sun, asking little and giving much. Its soft purple blooms sway gently in the breeze, releasing fragrance with every movement. In a world that rarely slows down, lavender offers something simple: permission to rest. Rafflesia is the world's largest flower. Deep in the rainforests of Southeast Asia grows a flower so massive it seems almost unreal. Rafflesia arnoldi can reach over 3 feet in diameter and weigh up to 15 pounds. It has no leaves, no stems, and no roots. It's a parasite, living entirely inside the tissues of a host vine. emerging only to bloom. And when it does, it smells like rotting meat, earning it the nickname corpse flower, though it's unrelated to the other corpse flower we mentioned earlier. The bloom lasts only a few days before it collapses into a slimy black mass. Rafflesia is rare, difficult to find, and even harder to study. Its seeds must land on a specific vine species to germinate, and the chances are slim. Most of its life is invisible, hidden inside another plant. But when it blooms, it commands attention. A grotesque, magnificent giant that reminds us that size, beauty, and strangeness are not opposites. Sometimes they are one and the same. Forget-me-nots have a tragic legend. The forget-me-not is a small, delicate flower with 5 pale blue petals and a yellow center. Its name comes from a medieval legend. A knight and his lover were walking along a river when he saw the flowers growing on the bank. He climbed down to pick them for her, but his armor was too heavy. He fell into the water, and as he was swept away, threw the flowers to her and shouted, "Forget me not." She wore the flowers in her hair for the rest of her life, never forgetting him. It's a story of love, loss, and memory. And whether or not it's true, the flower has carried that meaning ever since. In many cultures, forget-me-nots symbolize remembrance, fidelity, and enduring love. They're often planted in memorial gardens or given to those grieving. Small and easily overlooked, they hold a quiet power, a reminder that even the tiniest bloom can carry the weight of a story. Flowers existed before bees. Flowers are often thought of as nature's way of attracting bees, but flowers came first. Flowering plants, or angiosperms, appeared around 130 million years ago during the age of dinosaurs. Bees didn't evolve until later, roughly 100 million years ago. So who pollinated the first flowers? Likely beetles, flies, and other insects that were already around. Early flowers were probably simple, small, and not particularly showy. Over time, as bees evolved and became more efficient pollinators, flowers evolved alongside them, developing brighter colors, sweeter nectar, and more complex shapes. This coevolution transformed both groups. Bees became specialists, flowers became seducers. It's one of nature's most successful partnerships. And it started not with planning, but with chance. A beetle landing on a bloom, pollen sticking to its body, a new flower growing somewhere else. One small accident repeated across millennia, until it became the foundation of the world we see today. Passion flowers were named by missionaries when Spanish missionaries arrived in South America. They encountered a flower unlike any they'd seen. Its intricate structure seemed to them like a symbol of the Passion of Christ. The 10 petals represented the 10 faithful apostles. The corona of filaments symbolized the crown of thorns. The 5 stamens stood for the 5 wounds. The 3 stigmas represented the 3 nails. They called it the passion flower, and the name spread across languages and continents. Botanically, the flower is just as complex as it looks. It belongs to the genus Passiflora, with over 500 species, many of which produce edible fruit. Passion fruit, tangy and aromatic, comes from these vines. The flowers themselves are stunning, layered, symmetrical, alien in their beauty. Whether you see religious symbolism or evolutionary artistry, the passion flower commands attention. It's proof that meaning is often something we bring to nature, and nature, in its silence, accepts it all. Poppies grew on World War I battlefields. In the aftermath of World War I, the scarred landscapes of Europe torn by trenches and bombs, began to heal. And one of the first plants to return was the poppy. Bright red and resilient, poppies spread across the battlefields, thriving in the disturbed, lime-rich soil. Their seeds can lie dormant for years, waiting for the right conditions. War provided those conditions. The poppy became a symbol of remembrance, thanks in part to the poem In Flanders Fields by John McCrae, a Canadian soldier and physician. He wrote of poppies growing between the crosses, row on row. Today, people wear red poppies on Remembrance Day and Veterans Day to honor those who died in war. The flower doesn't glorify conflict, it marks loss. And in its delicate papery petals, there's a quiet truth. Life returns, even to the places we've broken. Lotus flowers stay clean in muddy water. The lotus flower is sacred in many cultures, and part of its reverence comes from a remarkable feature. It grows in muddy, murky ponds, yet its petals remain pristine. This is due to a phenomenon called the lotus effect. The surface of the lotus leaf is covered in microscopic bumps coated with a waxy substance. Water beads up and rolls off, carrying dirt and debris with it. The flower literally cleans itself. Scientists have studied this effect and used it to develop self-cleaning materials, fabrics, paints, and glass. The lotus has become a symbol of purity, enlightenment, and resilience, rising unstained from the muck. In Buddhist and Hindu traditions, it represents spiritual awakening, the soul emerging from suffering into clarity. Watching a lotus bloom is a slow, meditative process. The petals open at dawn and close at dusk. It takes several days to fully reveal itself. And when it does, it's flawless, not despite the mud, but because of it. Marigolds were used to honor the dead. In Mexico and many Latin American countries, marigolds, known as cempasúchil or flor de muertos, are central to Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. Their vibrant orange and yellow petals are believed to guide the spirits of the deceased back to the world of the living. Families create elaborate altars adorned with marigolds, photos, candles, and offerings of food. The flowers are scattered in paths leading from gravesites to homes, forming a fragrant, colorful trail. Marigolds have a strong, distinctive scent, and it's said that this aroma helps souls find their way. But marigolds aren't just ceremonial, they're also practical. Gardeners plant them to repel pests. Their roots release compounds that deter nematodes and other soil-borne threats. In life and in death, marigolds serve. They protect, they guide, they honor. A flower that blooms at the intersection of memory and earth. Some flowers change color as they age. Have you ever noticed a flower that seems to shift hues over the course of a few days? It's not your imagination. Some flowers, like hydrangeas, lantanas, and certain roses, change color as they mature. Hydrangeas are especially famous for this. Their color depends on the pH of the soil. Acidic soil produces blue blooms. Alkaline soil yields pink. But even without changing soil, a single hydrangea bush can display multiple colors as individual flowers age, shifting from vibrant to muted tones. Lantana flowers open yellow or white and gradually deepen to orange, red, or purple. This color change signals pollinators. Bright, fresh blooms offer nectar. Older, darker ones do not. It saves the pollinator time and ensures the plant's resources go where they're needed most. In the garden, aging isn't loss, it's communication. A conversation written in fading petals, telling the story of time's passage, bloom by bloom. The Titan arum can heat itself up. The Titan arum, another flower often called the corpse flower, doesn't just smell like death. It also generates heat. When it blooms, the central spadix, a tall spike in the center of the flower, can reach temperatures of up to 98 degrees Celsius, close to human body temperature. This heat serves a purpose. It helps volatilize the foul-smelling compounds, spreading the odor farther and faster to attract pollinators. The process is called thermogenesis, and only a handful of plants can do it. The heat also creates convection currents, lifting the scent into the air like a chimney. For carrion-feeding insects, the warmth mimics a fresh carcass. They arrive expecting to lay eggs, and instead they're dusted with pollen. The Titan arum blooms rarely, sometimes only once every few years, and the event draws crowds. People line up to experience the stench, the spectacle, the heat. It's a flower that doesn't ask to be loved. It demands to be noticed. Chrysanthemums mean different things in different cultures. In much of Asia, chrysanthemums are symbols of longevity, joy, and noble character. In Japan, the chrysanthemum is the imperial flower, representing the emperor and the throne. There's even a national holiday, the Festival of Happiness, centered around it. In China, chrysanthemums are associated with autumn and are often given to elders as a sign of respect and wishes for a long life. But in parts of Europe, particularly France, Belgium, and Italy, chrysanthemums carry a very different meaning. They're funeral flowers, placed on graves to honor the dead. Giving someone chrysanthemums in these countries can be seen as wishing them death. The same flower, opposite meanings. It's a reminder that symbols are not universal. They're shaped by culture, history, and collective memory. A chrysanthemum knows none of this. It simply blooms, radiant and indifferent, while humans assign it meaning, joy in one hand, mourning in the other. Bleeding hearts are shaped like tiny hearts. The name says it all. Dicentra spectabilis, commonly known as bleeding heart, produces delicate, heart-shaped flowers that dangle from arching stems. Each bloom looks like a perfect valentine, complete with a small droplet or tear hanging from the bottom. The flowers are usually pink or white, and they appear in spring, carpeting shaded gardens with their romantic silhouettes. But there's also a story. Some say the shape represents a broken heart, each part of the flower symbolizing a piece of a tragic love tale. Others simply see nature's whimsy, a plant that happened to evolve a structure we recognize. Bleeding hearts prefer cool, moist environments and often go dormant in the heat of summer, retreating underground until the following spring. They don't need attention. They don't demand care. They bloom quietly in the shadows, offering beauty without fanfare, love without expectation. A flower that knows how to let go and return. Wisteria can live for hundreds of years. Wisteria is a climber, a vine that twists and ascends, covering arbors, fences, and buildings in cascades of purple, blue, or white blooms. Its flowers hang in long clusters, sometimes over a foot in length, releasing a sweet, intoxicating fragrance. But wisteria is not delicate. It's strong, almost aggressive. Its vines can strangle trees, pull down structures, and persist for centuries. In Japan, there's a wisteria tree over 150 years old that covers nearly 2,000 square meters. Visitors walk beneath it as if under a floral sky. Wisteria's longevity and strength have made it a symbol of endurance, patience, and quiet power. It doesn't bloom in its first few years. It waits, building roots, gaining strength, and when it finally flowers, it does so with abundance. Wisteria teaches a lesson. Some things are worth waiting for, and some beauty takes time to earn. Magnolias are among the oldest flowering plants. Magnolias have been blooming for over 95 million years. They existed before bees, pollinated instead by beetles that clambered over their thick, sturdy petals. Because of this ancient relationship, magnolia flowers are tougher than most, designed to withstand the weight and mandibles of their prehistoric partners. Fossil records show magnolias thriving during the time of dinosaurs, their flowers opening in a world we can barely imagine. Today, there are over 200 species of magnolia, ranging from towering trees to small shrubs. Their blooms are often large, fragrant, and elegant, appearing in white, pink, yellow, or purple. In the language of flowers, magnolias symbolize dignity and nobility, but they also represent perseverance. They survived mass extinctions, climate shifts, and the rise and fall of entire ecosystems. When you see a magnolia in bloom, you're looking at a living link to the ancient past, a flower that remembers the earth as it once was. Daffodils are poisonous bright, cheerful, and synonymous with spring. Daffodils seem harmless, but every part of the plant contains toxic compounds, particularly licorine, concentrated in the bulbs. If ingested, daffodils can cause nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and in severe cases, convulsions or cardiac arrhythmia. Animals generally avoid them. Deer won't eat them. Squirrels won't dig up the bulbs. This natural defense is why daffodils are often planted around more vulnerable flowers, acting as a protective barrier. In the Victorian language of flowers, daffodils symbolize new beginnings and rebirth. They're one of the first blooms to emerge after winter, pushing through cold soil when little else dares. There's irony in their duality, life-giving in symbolism, deadly in chemistry. The daffodil doesn't apologize, it simply is. Beautiful and dangerous, gentle and guarded. A reminder that nature does not divide the world into good and evil. It simply survives. Jasmine releases its scent at night. Jasmine is beloved for its intoxicating fragrance, sweet, rich, and deeply calming. But many species of jasmine, particularly night-blooming varieties, release their strongest scent after the sun sets. This timing is intentional. Jasmine is pollinated primarily by nocturnal moths, which are drawn to the powerful aroma in the dark. The flowers are usually white or pale yellow, easy to see in low light. The scent of jasmine has been used for centuries in perfumes, teas, and aromatherapy. It's said to reduce anxiety, improve mood, and promote relaxation. Some studies suggest that jasmine scent can improve sleep quality as effectively as certain sedatives. In many cultures, jasmine symbolizes love, beauty, and purity. In the Philippines, it's the national flower. In India, it's woven into garlands and offered in temples. A small flower with a mighty presence, jasmine doesn't bloom for applause. It blooms for the quiet hours, the ones we spend alone, breathing deeply and letting go. Hibiscus flowers last only one day. Hibiscus blooms are bold, tropical, and extravagant, often as large as a dinner plate. They come in shades of red, pink, yellow, orange, and white, with delicate, ruffled petals and a prominent stamen. But their beauty is brief. Most hibiscus flowers last only 24 hours. They open in the morning, vibrant and full, and by evening they begin to wilt. By the next day, they've fallen. It seems wasteful, until you realize the plant produces new blooms constantly throughout the growing season. There's always another flower, another day. In Hawaiian culture, hibiscus represents hospitality, beauty, and the fleeting nature of life. Women often wear hibiscus flowers behind their ears, on the right if single, on the left if taken. The flower doesn't mourn its brevity, it celebrates it. One day is enough, and in that single day, it gives everything. Snapdragons look like skulls when they die. Snapdragons are playful flowers, named because their blooms resemble little dragon faces that snap, open and shut when squeezed. Children delight in this, but there's a darker side. When snapdragons wilt and dry out, the seed pods that remain look uncannily like tiny human skulls. Rows of them hanging from the stem, hollow-eyed and eerie. In medieval times, people believed snapdragons had mystical powers. They were planted in gardens to ward off evil and deception. Wearing a snapdragon was thought to make one gracious and strong. The skull-like seed pods only added to their mysterious reputation. Today, snapdragons are simply cheerful garden favorites, available in nearly every color. But their skeletal aftermath lingers, a reminder that life and death are never far apart. Even in flowers, even in gardens, even in play, the end is always written into the beginning. Peonies can live for over 100 years. Plant a peony, and you're planting a legacy. These lush, fragrant blooms, with their layers of soft petals, can live for a century or more. Some peonies planted in the 1800s are still blooming today, passed down through generations. They're slow to establish, often taking a few years before they flower well, but once settled, they're remarkably low maintenance. Peonies prefer cold winters and don't transplant well, so where you plant them matters. In Chinese culture, peonies are called the king of flowers and symbolize wealth, honor, and romance. They're often featured in art, poetry, and celebrations. In the Victorian language of flowers, peonies represent bashfulness or shame, though in modern times they're more commonly associated with prosperity and happy marriage. A peony doesn't rush. It builds slowly, blooms extravagantly, and endures quietly. In a world obsessed with speed, the peony is a patient elder, reminding us that some things are meant to last. Morning glories close in the afternoon. True to their name, morning glories bloom at dawn. Their trumpet-shaped flowers unfurl in the early light, displaying vivid blues, purples, pinks, and whites. But by afternoon, they begin to close, and by evening, they're tightly shut again. This daily rhythm is controlled by light and temperature. The flowers are photosensitive, responding to the angle and intensity of the sun. Morning glories are vigorous climbers, twining up fences, trellises, and anything vertical. In some regions, they're considered invasive, spreading rapidly and smothering other plants. But in the garden, they're cherished for their cheerful, fleeting beauty. In Japanese culture, morning glories are symbols of summer and are featured in festivals and art. The transience of their bloom mirrors the Buddhist concept of impermanence. Each flower is a small lesson. This moment is here, and soon it will be gone. So look now, appreciate now, before the petals fold and the light moves on. Some flowers are edible and delicious. Flowers aren't just for looking at. Many are edible, adding color, flavor, and elegance to dishes. Nasturtiums have a peppery taste, similar to arugula, and both the flowers and leaves can be tossed into salads. Violets are sweet and can be candied or used to garnish cakes. Roses, especially the petals, are used in Middle Eastern and Indian cuisine to flavor syrups, teas, and desserts. Elderflowers are made into cordials and liqueurs. Squash blossoms are stuffed and fried in Italian cooking. Calendula petals add a subtle, earthy flavor and a golden hue to soups and rice. Not all flowers are safe to eat. Some are toxic, so it's important to know which ones are edible. But those that offer a unique way to experience plants, not just as beauty, but as nourishment. To eat a flower is to take in its color, its fragrance, its life. It's a quiet intimacy, a crossing of boundaries between decoration and sustenance. Bluebells carpet entire forests in spring. In certain woodlands across Europe, especially in the United Kingdom, spring brings a transformation. The forest floor, bare and brown for months, suddenly erupts in a sea of blue. Bluebells, delicate and bell-shaped, bloom in such abundance that they create a soft, hazy carpet beneath the trees. The sight is breathtaking, and the scent, sweet and slightly musky, fills the air. Bluebells are protected in the UK, where they're considered a national treasure. It's illegal to dig them up from the wild. They're also an indicator species, meaning their presence signals an ancient woodland, one that's been undisturbed for centuries. Bluebells are sensitive to change. They don't spread quickly and are easily outcompeted by invasive plants. But where they thrive, they transform the landscape. Walking through a bluebell wood in full bloom is like stepping into a fairy tale. The world goes soft and blue, and for a moment, time slows down. Iris flowers are named after a Greek goddess. The iris is named after Iris, the Greek goddess of the rainbow, who served as a messenger between the gods and humanity. The connection is clear. Irises come in nearly every color imaginable: purple, blue, yellow, white, orange, even near black. Their petals have a unique structure. 3 upright petals called standards, and 3 drooping petals called falls, often with intricate markings and veining. The iris has been cultivated for thousands of years. The ancient Egyptians grew them. The fleur-de-lis, a stylized iris, has been a symbol of French royalty since the Middle Ages. In Japan, irises are associated with courage and protection. In the Victorian language of flowers, they represent faith, hope, and wisdom. An iris doesn't shout. It stands tall, layered and complex, holding its colors like a secret. And in that quiet dignity, it carries the weight of centuries, a flower that has always meant something more than itself. Some flowers smell like chocolate. If you've ever walked past a chocolate cosmos and done a double take, you're not imagining it. This small, daisy-like flower with deep red, almost black petals smells distinctly of chocolate. The scent comes from natural compounds similar to those found in cocoa. It's subtle but unmistakable, especially on warm afternoons. Chocolate cosmos is native to Mexico and in the wild is actually extinct. The plants we grow today are all descended from a single cultivated specimen. Other flowers also carry unexpected scents. The Carolina allspice smells like strawberries. Some orchids smell like coconut or vanilla. Certain roses have a fruity, almost wine-like fragrance. These scents evolved to attract specific pollinators, but for us, they're delightful surprises. A garden can be more than a visual experience. It can be a library of smells, each bloom a different note, each breeze a new sentence. And sometimes, just sometimes, the garden smells like dessert. Flowers can survive in extreme cold high in the alpine regions of the world, where snow lingers and temperatures plunge. A remarkable group of flowers has learned not just to survive, but to thrive. Alpine flowers like edelweiss, mountain avens, and alpine forget-me-nots grow in some of the harshest conditions on Earth. They hug the ground to avoid wind, develop thick, fuzzy coverings to insulate against cold, and produce antifreeze proteins in their cells to prevent ice crystal formation. Some can photosynthesize at temperatures just above freezing. Others bloom within days of snowmelt, racing to complete their life cycle in the brief alpine summer. These flowers are small, often overlooked, but extraordinarily resilient. They represent life's refusal to be confined by comfort, where the air is thin and the season short. Where most plants would perish, alpine flowers open their petals to the sky, tiny, determined, and beautiful in their defiance of the cold. The ghost orchid is nearly invisible. Deep in the swamps of Florida and Cuba grows one of the world's most mysterious flowers, the ghost orchid. It has no leaves, no chlorophyll, and spends most of its life as nothing more than a tangle of roots wrapped around tree bark. It doesn't photosynthesize. Instead, it feeds on fungi in a relationship that scientists still don't fully understand. When it blooms, which is rare and unpredictable, it produces a single white flower that seems to float in the darkness, hence the name. The bloom lasts only about a week. The ghost orchid is incredibly difficult to find and even harder to cultivate. It's been the subject of obsession for orchid hunters, some of whom have spent years searching for a single specimen. The flower doesn't need us. It doesn't need light. It exists in shadow, blooming for reasons we may never fully understand. A flower that lives like a ghost, present but unseen, until the moment it chooses to appear. Carnations were used in ancient Greek ceremonies. Carnations, with their ruffled petals and spicy sweet fragrance, have been cultivated for over 2,000 years. The ancient Greeks and Romans used them in garlands and crowns, often during celebrations and ceremonial events. The name carnation may come from coronation, as they were used in ceremonial crowns, or from incarnation, referring to the Christian belief that they first appeared when Mary wept at Jesus' crucifixion. In different colors, carnations carry different meanings. Red symbolizes love and admiration. White represents purity and good luck. Pink carnations are said to have sprung from the tears of the Virgin Mary, making them symbols of a mother's undying love. In many countries, carnations are given on Mother's Day. They're long-lasting, affordable, and versatile, sometimes dismissed as too common. But their history is ancient, their symbolism rich. A carnation may seem simple, but it carries centuries of human emotion in its petals. Foxglove is both beautiful and deadly tall spikes of tubular flowers, usually purple, pink, or white, dotted with intricate spots inside. Foxgloves are a common sight in cottage gardens and wild meadows. They're strikingly beautiful. They're also highly toxic. Every part of the plant contains digitalis, a compound that affects the heart. In controlled doses, digitalis is used in medicine to treat heart conditions, but in the wrong amount, it can cause nausea, vomiting, hallucinations, and death. Despite this, foxgloves have been used in folk medicine for centuries, always with caution. Bees love them, crawling deep inside the tubular flowers to reach the nectar. The spots inside are thought to act as guides, leading pollinators to the right place. Foxglove is a plant of contradictions, healing and harmful, inviting and dangerous. It stands tall in the garden, elegant and unbothered, a reminder that beauty and poison often grow on the same stem. Some flowers glow under UV light. To the human eye, many flowers look one way, but to bees and other pollinators that can see ultraviolet light, they look completely different. Under UV light, patterns invisible to us appear on petals. Nectar guides that point directly to the flower's center. These bullseye patterns help pollinators find their target quickly and efficiently. Scientists have photographed flowers under UV light, revealing hidden designs, stripes, halos, and spots that transform a plain yellow bloom into a complex glowing map. Sunflowers, evening primrose, and even some roses show these secret patterns. It's a private language between plant and pollinator, one we can only glimpse with special equipment. The garden is more than we see. It's layered with information, written in wavelengths beyond our perception. To a bee, the world is richer, stranger, and far more colorful than we ever imagined. Water lilies open and close with precision. Water lilies float serenely on the surface of ponds and lakes. Their broad leaves and elegant blooms suggesting stillness, but they're anything but passive. Many species open their flowers in the morning and close them at night, following a precise circadian rhythm. Some, like the tropical water lily, bloom at night instead, opening after dusk and closing at dawn. This timing matches the activity patterns of their pollinators, beetles and bees by day, moths and beetles by night. The flowers can also regulate their temperature, warming themselves slightly to attract cold-blooded insects. Water lilies have been symbols of purity and enlightenment in many cultures, particularly in ancient Egypt, where they were associated with the sun and rebirth. The blue lotus was especially sacred. Today, water lilies grace gardens and wild waters alike, opening and closing with the rhythm of light. A quiet meditation on time's passage. Sweet peas were bred for fragrance. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, sweet peas were among the most popular garden flowers in Europe, prized above all for their scent, a delicate, honeyed fragrance that filled gardens and homes. But as breeders worked to create larger, more vibrant blooms, something was lost. Many modern sweet pea varieties are nearly scentless, their fragrance sacrificed in favor of size and color. Today, there's a movement to bring back heirloom varieties, the old-fashioned sweet peas that smell as wonderful as they look. These flowers come in soft pastels and climb gracefully on trellises, releasing their perfume most strongly in the cool morning air. Sweet peas are also associated with farewells and departures, often given as parting gifts. Their fragrance lingers even after the flowers are gone, a gentle reminder of someone or something once present. In a world that often prioritizes appearance over essence, the sweet pea asks a quiet question. What are we willing to trade for beauty? Proteas are ancient and alien-looking native to South Africa. Proteas are unlike any other flower. They're large, architectural, and otherworldly, with stiff, colorful bracts surrounded a dense cluster of tubular flowers. Some look like artichokes. Others resemble fireworks frozen mid-burst. Proteas belong to one of the oldest families of flowering plants, dating back over 300 million years to the supercontinent Gondwana. They're named after Proteus, the Greek god who could change his shape, a fitting tribute to their incredible diversity. There are over 1,500 species in the Protea family. Proteas thrive in poor, rocky soil and are adapted to survive wildfires. In fact, many species need fire to germinate. the heat cracks open their seed pods, allowing new life to emerge from the ashes. In the language of flowers, proteas symbolize transformation, courage, and diversity. They don't follow the rules of softness or symmetry. They stand bold, strange, and unapologetically themselves. Petunias are related to tomatoes and potatoes. It might surprise you to learn that the petunia, a common bedding plant found in gardens and hanging baskets everywhere, belongs to the Solanaceae family. That makes it a close relative of tomatoes, potatoes, peppers, and even tobacco. All these plants share similar flower structures and certain chemical compounds. Some members of the family, like deadly nightshade, are highly toxic. Others, like tomatoes, are staple foods. Petunias themselves come in a stunning range of colors, often with intricate veining, ruffled edges, or gradient petals. They're prolific bloomers, flowering continuously from spring until frost. Their scent is often strongest at night, a trait shared by many Solanaceae species that attract nocturnal pollinators. Petunias are easygoing, adaptable, and forgiving, which is why they're so popular. But beneath their simple charm lies an ancient botanical lineage, one that connects the flower box on your porch to the vegetables on your dinner plate. Birds of paradise never truly open. The bird of paradise flower, native to South Africa, is one of the most recognizable blooms in the world. Its vibrant orange and blue petals emerge from a beak-like structure, resembling a tropical bird in flight. But here's the secret: the flower never fully opens. The petals remain fused together, forming a perch for its primary pollinator, the sunbird. When the bird lands to drink nectar, its weight causes the petals to open slightly, exposing the pollen. As the bird moves, pollen transfers to its feet and chest. When it visits the next flower, pollination occurs. The design is so specific that in regions without sunbirds, the flowers often fail to reproduce. It's a partnership honed over millennia. The bird gets food, the flower gets pollinated, and the bloom itself, bold and striking, never fully reveals what it holds inside. Some beauty, it seems, is meant to be earned, not given freely. Calendula petals were used to dye fabric. Calendula, also known as pot marigold, has been valued for centuries, not just as a garden flower, but as a practical resource. Its bright orange and yellow petals produce a natural dye that was used to color fabrics, particularly in medieval Europe. The color ranges from pale yellow to deep gold, depending on the concentration. Calendula was also used as a substitute for expensive saffron in cooking, adding color if not quite the same flavor. Beyond dyeing and cooking, calendula has long been used in herbal medicine. Its petals have anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial properties and are often made into salves for cuts, burns, and skin irritations. Calendula is easy to grow, reseeds readily, and blooms for months. It's cheerful, useful, and generous. A flower that doesn't just look pretty, but serves, heals, and gives back. In a time when we often separate beauty from function, calendula reminds us they were once inseparable. Some flowers only bloom once in their lifetime. Most plants flower repeatedly, year after year. But some, known as monocarpic plants, bloom only once and then die. Agave is a famous example. It can live for 10, 20, even 50 years, storing energy in its thick, spiky leaves. Then, in a final dramatic act, it sends up a towering flower stalk, sometimes over 20 feet tall, covered in blooms. After flowering and setting seed, the entire plant dies. The bamboo does something similar, though even stranger. Some species flower only once every 50 to 100 years, and when they do, entire forests bloom simultaneously, then die. Scientists still don't fully understand what triggers this synchronized flowering. It's one of nature's great mysteries. These plants give everything to a single moment of reproduction. No second chances, no next season. Just one grand exhausting bloom, and then silence. It's both tragic and beautiful, a reminder that for some living things, life is not a cycle, but a story with a definite ending. Zinnias were grown in Aztec gardens. Zinnias are bright, cheerful, and almost impossibly easy to grow. They come in every color except blue, and their blooms range from tiny buttons to dinner plate-sized pom-poms. But zinnias are far from new. They were cultivated by the Aztecs in Mexico long before European colonization. The Aztecs called them mal de ojos, or sickness of the eyes, though it's unclear whether this referred to the flower's brightness or some medicinal use. Spanish conquistadors brought zinnia seeds back to Europe in the 1500s, where they were initially dismissed as weeds. It wasn't until the 19th century that plant breeders began developing the vibrant, showy varieties we know today. Zinnias are workhorses in the garden, blooming tirelessly in heat and sun, attracting butterflies and bees. In the language of flowers, zinnias represent endurance, lasting affection, and thinking of absent friends. Simple, sturdy, and steadfast, zinnias don't ask for much. They just bloom day after day, bright against the summer sky. Tulips close at night and open in the morning. If you keep cut tulips in a vase, you may have noticed something odd. They seem to move. Tulips are one of the few flowers that continue to grow after being cut, sometimes adding an inch or more to their height. But they also respond to light and temperature. At night, or in cool conditions, the petals close tightly. In warmth and light, they open wide. This movement, caused by growth on different sides of the petals, gives tulips a kind of liveliness that most cut flowers lack. In the garden, this same mechanism helps protect the reproductive parts from cold and moisture at night, then exposes them to pollinators during the day. Tulips have been symbols of spring, renewal, and perfect love. In the Ottoman Empire, they were so revered that an entire period of history is called the tulip era. A tulip doesn't stay still. It responds, adjusts, moves. Even in a vase, it's still alive, still reaching, still blooming. Amaryllis can rebloom year after year. Amaryllis bulbs, often given as holiday gifts, produce tall stalks topped with enormous trumpet-shaped flowers in shades of red, white, pink, or striped combinations. They bloom with dramatic flair, often indoors in the depths of winter. But many people don't realize that amaryllis can rebloom year after year with proper care. After flowering, the plant needs time to rebuild its energy. The leaves must be allowed to grow and photosynthesize, storing nutrients back into the bulb. Then, after a period of dormancy, the cycle begins again. Some amaryllis bulbs have been known to bloom for decades, becoming family heirlooms passed down through generations. Each year, the bulb gets a little larger and often produces more flower stalks. In a world of disposable decoration, the amaryllis offers something different. Patience, care, and the knowledge that beauty can return, not just once, but again and again, if we're willing to tend it. Asters bloom when most flowers are fading. As summer wanes and autumn settles in, many gardens begin to look tired. Flowers fade, leaves yellow, and the vibrant energy of July gives way to the quiet of September. But this is when asters come alive. These daisy-like flowers, usually in shades of purple, pink, or white with bright yellow centers, bloom prolifically in late summer and fall. They're a crucial source of nectar for bees, butterflies, and other pollinators preparing for winter. Asters are native to North America and were once called starworts because of their star-shaped blooms. The name aster comes from the Greek word for star. In the language of flowers, asters symbolize patience, elegance, and love. They're also associated with autumn itself, a reminder that beauty doesn't end with summer. As the world cools and the light softens, asters stand bright and generous, offering one last feast before the frost. Hellebores bloom in winter, when snow still covers the ground and most plants are dormant. Hellebores push through the cold and bloom. Also known as Christmas roses or Lenten roses, depending on their blooming time. Hellebores produce elegant nodding flowers in shades of white, pink, purple, green, and near black. Their blooms can last for months, holding up against freezing temperatures and even snow. Hellebores are evergreen perennials, and their thick, leathery leaves remain green all year. They're also toxic, which makes them deer-resistant and long-lived. In medieval times, hellebores were believed to have magical properties and were used in attempts to cure madness or ward off evil. Today, they're simply cherished as harbingers of spring, blooming when little else dares. To see a hellebore in January is to witness quiet rebellion. It doesn't wait for permission. It doesn't wait for warmth. It blooms in winter because it can. Queen of the night blooms for a single evening. The queen of the night, a type of night-blooming cereus cactus, produces one of the most spectacular and fleeting blooms in the plant kingdom. The flower is large, white, and intricately layered, with a powerful, sweet fragrance, but it blooms only once a year and only for a single night. The bud begins to open after dusk, fully unfurling around midnight, and by dawn, it's wilting. If you miss it, you wait another year. People who grow this cactus often host viewing parties, inviting friends and neighbors to witness the rare event. There's something magical about gathering in the dark to watch a flower open, to smell its perfume fill the air, to know that by morning it will be gone. The queen of the night doesn't ask to be remembered. It doesn't try to last. It offers itself completely for one night and then lets go. A reminder that some moments are meant to be experienced, not preserved. Hollyhocks were planted near outhouses. Hollyhocks are tall, stately plants with flowers that climb up sturdy stalks in shades of pink, red, yellow, white, and purple. They've been grown in cottage gardens for centuries, but there's a practical reason they were often planted near outhouses. They grew tall enough to hide the structure and bloomed prolifically, adding beauty to an otherwise unsightly necessity. Hollyhocks are also biennial, meaning they grow leaves the first year and bloom the second. They reseed easily, often coming back year after year in the same spot. In herbal medicine, hollyhock roots and flowers were used to soothe sore throats and digestive issues. In the Victorian language of flowers, they symbolized ambition and fruitfulness. Today, they're simply garden classics, evoking nostalgia and simpler times. Hollyhocks don't need to be fussed over. They grow where they're planted, bloom when they're ready, and return without being asked. Sturdy, dependable, and quietly proud. Saffron comes from crocus flowers. Saffron, the world's most expensive spice, comes from the tiny red stigmas of Crocus sativus, the saffron crocus. Each flower produces only 3 stigmas, and they must be harvested by hand at dawn when the flowers first open. It takes around 150 flowers to produce just 1 gram of dried saffron. The labor is immense, which is why saffron costs more per ounce than gold. Saffron has been prized for over 3,000 years, used in cooking, dyeing fabric, medicine, and religious rituals. Its flavor is earthy, slightly sweet, and utterly unique. The color it imparts, a deep golden yellow, has made it a symbol of wealth and purity. Saffron crocus blooms in the fall, carpeting fields in purple just as most other flowers are fading. The flowers last only a few days, making the harvest a race against time. A tiny flower, a precious harvest, a reminder that value is often measured in patience, care, and human hands. Violets were symbols of ancient Athens, small, delicate, and often overlooked. Violets have a history far grander than their size suggests. In ancient Athens, violets were so beloved that the city was sometimes called Violet-Crowned Athens. The flowers were associated with the goddess Aphrodite and symbolized love, fertility, and beauty. Violets were woven into garlands, used in perfumes, and given as tokens of affection. In medieval Europe, they became symbols of humility and modesty because they grow low to the ground and hide among their leaves. Napoleon Bonaparte was famously fond of violets and chose them as his emblem. When he was exiled, his supporters wore violets as a secret sign of loyalty. Violets are also edible, with a sweet floral flavor. They can be candied, added to salads, or used to make syrups and liqueurs. A violet doesn't demand attention. It grows quietly in the shade, offering beauty, fragrance, and history to those who take the time to notice. Bleeding hearts have a hidden surprise inside. If you gently pull apart the petals of a bleeding heart flower, you'll discover a hidden secret. Inside, perfectly arranged, are tiny structures that look like a rabbit or a lady in a bath, depending on your perspective. It's a delightful anatomical quirk, a bit of whimsy built into the flower's design. Children especially love this discovery, and many gardeners pass down the tradition of showing it to the next generation. The flower's structure is perfectly suited to its pollinators, usually bumblebees, which are strong enough to push into the narrow opening and reach the nectar inside. The rabbit or lady, you see, is actually the flower's reproductive parts, cleverly protected and positioned. Bleeding hearts don't advertise this feature. You have to look closely, take the time to explore. And that's part of their charm. Beauty isn't always on the surface. Sometimes it's hidden, waiting to be found by someone curious enough to wonder what lies inside. Fuchsias attract hummingbirds. Fuchsias are flamboyant, exotic-looking flowers with dangling blooms in combinations of pink, purple, red, and white. Their petals flare out like tiny ballerina skirts, and their long stamens hang below like delicate threads. Fuchsias are native to Central and South America, where they're primarily pollinated by hummingbirds. The birds are drawn to the tubular shape and vibrant colors, hovering mid-air to drink nectar from the deep center. In return, they transfer pollen from flower to flower. Fuchsias have been cultivated since the 18th century and come in hundreds of varieties, some with single blooms, others with elaborate doubles. They prefer cool, shaded conditions and can be grown in hanging baskets, containers, or garden beds. In the Victorian language of flowers, fuchsias represent confiding love and taste. They're dramatic, graceful, and impossible to ignore. A fuchsia doesn't whisper. It dances, suspended in air, waiting for the hummingbird's kiss. Night-scented stock releases fragrance only after dark. During the day, night-scented stock is unremarkable, small, pale, and easily overlooked. But as evening falls, it transforms. The flowers release a powerful, sweet fragrance that fills the air, attracting nocturnal moths. The scent is so strong it can perfume an entire garden, drifting through open windows and lingering in the cool night air. Gardeners often plant night-scented stock near patios, pathways, or bedroom windows to enjoy the evening perfume. The flowers themselves are modest, usually white or pale pink, but their impact is anything but. This is a flower that saves its energy for the hours when it matters most, when its pollinators are active and the competition for attention is low. It's a strategy of timing, of patience, of knowing when to bloom and when to rest. In a world that celebrates constant visibility, night-scented stock offers a different lesson. Sometimes the most powerful presence is the one that waits for darkness. Begonias were named after a French official. The begonia, a popular houseplant and garden flower, was named after Michel Begon, a French colonial administrator and plant enthusiast in the 17th century. A botanist named Charles Plumier discovered the plant in the Caribbean and chose to honor his patron by naming it after him. Today, there are over 1,800 species of begonia, with incredible diversity in leaf shape, flower form, and color. Some have tiny, delicate blooms. Others produce large, rose-like flowers. Many are grown as much for their foliage as for their flowers, with leaves in shades of green, red, silver, and purple, often patterned or textured. Begonias are adaptable, growing in shade, tolerating humidity, and blooming reliably with minimal care. In the language of flowers, begonias symbolize caution or beware, possibly because some species have slightly toxic leaves, but they also represent individuality and uniqueness, a fitting symbol for a genus so diverse. Calla lilies aren't actually lilies, despite their name. Calla lilies aren't lilies at all. They belong to the Araceae family, making them relatives of philodendrons and peace lilies. The part we think of as the flower, the elegant, trumpet-shaped structure, is actually a modified leaf called a spathe. The true flowers are tiny and clustered on the spike, or spadix, in the center. Calla lilies are native to southern Africa and have been symbols of purity, rebirth, and resurrection. They're often used in weddings and funerals, marking beginnings and endings. The most common variety is white, but callas also come in shades of yellow, pink, purple, and near black. They grow from rhizomes and prefer moist, even boggy conditions. Despite their delicate appearance, callas are surprisingly hardy. The flower's simple, sculptural form has made it a favorite subject for artists, including Georgia O'Keeffe, who painted them repeatedly. A calla lily doesn't try to be complex. It's a single elegant curve, holding space and light. Marigolds repel garden pests. Gardeners have long planted marigolds alongside vegetables, and there's science behind the tradition. Marigolds produce a strong scent from their roots and foliage that repels certain pests, particularly nematodes, tiny soil-dwelling worms that damage plant roots. Some studies suggest that the scent also deters aphids, whiteflies, and even rabbits. French marigolds are especially effective. Their roots release a substance called alpha-terthianol, which is toxic to nematodes. Beyond pest control, marigolds are cheerful, easy to grow, and bloom prolifically from spring until frost. They come in shades of yellow, orange, red, and bicolor, with flowers ranging from tiny singles to large, fluffy doubles. In companion planting, marigolds are often called guardian plants. They don't just grow alongside vegetables, they protect them. It's a quiet partnership, one that asks nothing in return. The marigold blooms, bright and unbothered, while underground, its roots work to keep the garden safe. Gladiolus means little sword. The name gladiolus comes from the Latin word gladius, meaning sword, a reference to the plant's long, pointed leaves. The flowers themselves grow on tall spikes, opening from bottom to top in a dramatic vertical display. Gladiolus blooms come in nearly every color and are often used in floral arrangements for their height and elegance. In ancient Rome, gladioli grew wild in fields and were associated with gladiators who would be showered with the flowers after a victory. The blooms symbolize strength, integrity, and moral character. In the Victorian language of flowers, a gladiolus represented infatuation, with the implication that the recipient had pierced the sender's heart. Gladiolus grow from corms, bulb-like structures planted in spring. They bloom in mid to late summer and are beloved by pollinators and florists alike. A gladiolus doesn't sprawl or creep. It stands tall, sword leaves pointing upward, flowers stacked like a declaration, bold, linear, and unapologetically vertical. Some flowers are fluorescent under normal light. Certain flowers look vibrant, but under ultraviolet or black light, they glow with an eerie, almost supernatural brilliance. This fluorescence is caused by compounds in the petals that absorb UV light and re-emit it as visible light. Flowers like marigolds, sunflowers, and some orchids are naturally fluorescent. Scientists believe this fluorescence may help attract pollinators, especially those that can see into the ultraviolet spectrum. The glow acts as a beacon, making the flower more visible and appealing. Some flowers even show different fluorescent patterns on different parts of the bloom, creating roadmaps for insects. We can only see this phenomenon with special lights, but to the right eyes, the garden is glowing. Every petal a lantern, every bloom a signal. The night is not dark to those who can see beyond our spectrum. And flowers, always clever, have been glowing all along. Baby's breath was once considered a weed. Today, baby's breath, or gypsophila, is a staple of floral arrangements, adding delicate, airy texture to bouquets. But it wasn't always valued. For many years, it was considered a filler plant, something to bulk up arrangements cheaply. In some regions, it was even seen as a weed, spreading aggressively in dry, rocky areas. Baby's breath produces masses of tiny white or pink flowers on thin, branching stems, creating a cloud-like effect. It's incredibly long-lasting, both fresh and dried, which has made it popular in the floral industry. The name baby's breath reflects its delicate, innocent appearance. In the language of flowers, it symbolizes everlasting love, purity, and innocence, which is why it's often included in wedding bouquets. What was once dismissed has become essential, a reminder that value is often a matter of perspective. Baby's breath didn't change, we did. Ranunculus flowers have layers upon layers of petals. Ranunculus are like roses that couldn't stop. Each bloom is packed with thin, papery petals, layer upon layer, spiraling tightly around the center. The result is a flower that looks almost unreal in its fullness and intricacy. Ranunculus come in nearly every color, often with a subtle gradient or glow that shifts as the flower opens. They're native to Asia and are especially popular in spring arrangements. The name comes from the Latin word for little frog, because many species grow in wet, marshy areas where frogs are common. In the language of flowers, ranunculus symbolizes charm and attractiveness. A single stem can hold multiple blooms, and each one unfolds slowly, revealing more and more as the days pass. To watch a ranunculus open is to witness patience. It doesn't rush, it doesn't perform. It simply unfolds, petal by petal, until it's complete, and then it rests, full and radiant, before letting go. Cosmos flowers attract beneficial insects. Cosmos are among the easiest flowers to grow, cheerful, daisy-like blooms that reseed readily and bloom all summer long. But beyond their beauty, they serve an important role in the garden. Cosmos attract a wide range of beneficial insects, including ladybugs, lacewings, parasitic wasps, and hoverflies. These insects prey on common garden pests like aphids, caterpillars, and mites, providing natural pest control. Cosmos also attract pollinators, bees, butterflies, and moths, supporting biodiversity. The flowers come in shades of pink, white, orange, and yellow, with delicate feathery foliage. They tolerate poor soil, heat, and drought, making them ideal for low-maintenance gardens. In the language of flowers, cosmos symbolize order, harmony, and peace. They don't demand rich soil or constant care. They simply grow, bloom, and give back. In a garden, as in life, cosmos remind us that sometimes the simplest things are the most generous. Moonflowers are related to morning glories. Moonflowers and morning glories are close cousins, both members of the Epomoea family. But where morning glories bloom at dawn, moonflowers wait for dusk. Their large, white, trumpet-shaped flowers unfurl in the evening, releasing a sweet, lemony fragrance that attracts night-flying moths. Moonflowers can open in just minutes, and watching one bloom is mesmerizing. The petals slowly relax and spread, revealing a glowing white face that seems to capture and reflect moonlight. By morning, the flowers have closed and wilted. Moonflowers are vigorous climbers, quickly covering trellises, fences, or arbors. In warm climates, they can become invasive. In the language of flowers, moonflowers symbolize dreaming of love. They bloom when the world is quiet, when most have gone to bed. They're flowers for insomniacs, for night shift workers, for anyone who finds peace in darkness. A moonflower doesn't need the sun. It has the moon, and that's enough. Victorian flower language was incredibly detailed. In the Victorian era, flowers were more than decoration. They were a language. People sent coded messages through carefully arranged bouquets, with each flower, color, and even the way it was presented carrying specific meaning. A red rose meant passionate love. A yellow rose signaled jealousy. Lavender represented distrust. Peonies meant bashfulness. The direction a ribbon was tied, the hand that offered the bouquet, even whether the flowers were given upright or upside down, all altered the message. Entire dictionaries were published to help people encode and decode these floral communications. It was a way to express emotions that polite society forbade speaking aloud. Love, anger, rejection, longing, all could be conveyed through petals. Today, most of this language is forgotten, but the instinct remains. We still give roses to lovers. We still bring flowers to the grieving. We still understand, somewhere deep, that flowers speak. And though we've lost the grammar, we still feel the meaning. Some flowers are used in traditional medicine. For thousands of years, flowers have been more than symbols or decorations. They've been medicine. Echinacea, or coneflower, is used to boost the immune system and fight infections. Chamomile flowers are brewed into tea to calm nerves and aid sleep. Calendula petals are made into salves for skin healing. Arnica flowers reduce bruising and inflammation. Elderflowers treat colds and respiratory issues. St. John's wort, with its bright yellow blooms, has been used to treat depression and anxiety. Yarrow flowers help stop bleeding and reduce fever. Many of these remedies have been validated by modern science. Others remain in the realm of traditional knowledge, passed down through generations. Flowers contain complex chemistry, alkaloids, flavonoids, terpenes, and tannins. They evolved these compounds to defend themselves, attract pollinators, or communicate with other plants. But humans learned to harness them, to drink them, to apply them, to heal with them. In the garden, medicine grows quietly, disguised as beauty. As we come to the end of this gentle walk through the world of flowers, let the noise of the day fade away. We've moved from seed to bloom, from sunlight to shadow, seeing how each flower carries its own quiet wisdom. That beauty doesn't rush, it unfolds. That strength can live inside softness, and that everything, no matter how brief, leaves something behind. Somewhere right now, a garden hums softly under the moon. Dew gathers on the edges of petals. A breeze carries the scent of jasmine or rose through an open window. A child is picking wildflowers without names. And somewhere else, an old bouquet is being pressed between the pages of a book. A memory turned into something lasting. You belong to this world of growing things. You too have roots and seasons, moments of stillness and moments of bloom. Even in times when nothing seems to flourish, something is always happening beneath the surface, preparing for light. So take a deep breath. Let your shoulders ease. Imagine the air itself is a garden, full of life, full of color. The day is ending, but something beautiful is still quietly growing. Rest easy tonight. May your dreams be filled with gentle colors, the whisper of petals opening, and the peace that comes from knowing that, like the flowers, you are always becoming. Good night.